Oh! Technology-assisted surgeries, someone's going to need a rabies shot, and of course, don't pull it out. Today, we are back at it, breaking down and reacting to all of the electrifying medical scenes and robotic injuries from murder drones. Let's dive right in.
1, 2.
Oh! Gunshot wound, GSW to the head. You can see all the splatter, so it's probably like oil, right?
Oil, that is.
Does blood do that? Sometimes, depending on what brain tissue got injured, you could potentially still live, obviously with some deficits. It all just depends on the area of the brain. When a human being ends up having very high temperatures, not necessarily due to fevers, but could be due to fevers, you could potentially start hallucinating and get very confused. The goal for us typically is identifying what's causing the elevated temperature. Is it related to an infectious cause versus environmental cause? Typically, how do you get somebody's temperature down? Use antipyretics, that's the fancy medical word for fevers, Tylenol, ibuprofen. Thereafter, you do cooling measures. You can do ice packs to certain areas. We were always taught the axilla, your groin, the neck, those areas where you have access to major vessels.
How about more explory, less watch from window creepy? Working on it.
Interesting that you see that big blade underneath the chin. You have important structures underneath there. Obviously, your throat and your airway. There's a bone that sits right here. It's called your hyoid bone. You obviously have your Adam's apple and your cricoid cartilage, and then all your tracheal rings underneath.
Did I cheat?
Oh, what? Again? Arrow to the head. You always hear me say, don't pull it out. That would be a situation if you're still alive. I would just leave it in place until you get to a medical facility because you don't know what structures were actually hit. Is it literally right next to something that if you try to pull it out, you're dying in 2 seconds?
Makeup session by now?
Oh.
Rebecca.
So that looks like half the body removed. There are individuals that can live without the lower part of their body, but in an acute traumatic event, they will have all the blood kind of leaking out of the body. You have your inferior vena cava, you have your abdominal aorta, and it's not sustainable.
Who did this to you? Don't remember name.
Very rarely do we actually see people have blood come out of their mouth, especially with these type of injuries.
Super unpopular.
Descriptive clues, man!
Purple eyes.
These robots struggle to survive by hiding out from the murder drones. Just like sometimes we feel in life where we are stressed out. I have a supplement that I created for that very thing. It's called Chillax. Find Chillax on lifehappens.com or on Amazon and keep your system running smoothly. Oh! Decapitation or the removal of a head is not sustainable with life. People try to reference the guillotine, a single study where somebody had eye blinking after their head was removed from their body. You can still have muscle movements, twitching of the face, eye movements. These are not potentially conscious activities. Oh, jeez. What is happening?
What is happening?
So the wings remind me of like a bat. There are a ton of species of bats. And there's only a few that you worry about where they actually like bite humans. The concern is that they might have rabies. What the heck is that? I need Coyote Peterson to come over here and tell me what type of creature that was. When we get bites like that where somebody comes to the emergency department with puncture wounds, it's really hard to clean. The bacteria gets inoculated into the tissue. Oh, it looks like she gets hit to the side of the head. Those are always the wounds that I worry about a lot because you have the middle meningeal artery over there. That can cause an epidural hematoma. People have the blown pupils and people die as well. Oh, puncture wound to the right hand. So your right hand, obviously you have your fingers and your thumb, right? So we call them digits. You have your metacarpals. You have basically all these specialized muscles in between all of them, as well as the blood vessels and nerves that run in between. Let me know in the comments. You guys know what the yellow glowing chemical is. Let me know.
Whoops. Easy there, buddy. Ow.
Up we go.
Oh my god, that's so funny. So again, puncture wound to the hand with a very sharp pointed object. Do you pull it out or do you go to the hospital? Typically you just leave it there and go to the hospital. Pulling it out could increase the risk of bleeding, but again, you don't close puncture wounds, you bandage them.
What did I say about antagonizing her?
You always take her side.
That sticking it in your mouth to try to get the bleeding to stop. Please don't do that. Your mouth is dirty and could seed bacteria into open wounds. Obviously, if you have a wound, put direct pressure on it to get the bleeding to stop. Then definitely wanted to clean it out. If it's still profusely bleeding, it needs to be evaluated and checked and make sure that a doctor takes a look at that.
Let's reset these memories one more time.
Talking about resetting somebody's memories.
Memory deleted.
We have people who come into the emergency department with Alzheimer's dementia due to changes of the brain, and we call it their amyloid plaques. You can't recall things that were just formed or new memories, but you can still access some old ones.
Son of a... Come on, solver of the absolute fabric. Get a grip.
Trying to use like fine motor skills to pick up these tools in the emergency department. The only time I ever have difficulty with the tools is after I have like a big cup of coffee. Sometimes the hand will shake a little bit, but obviously I know how to use the ability to calm my hand and be able to use the tools because I'm using very small needles.
Intimidating glare.
Whoa, Sin, for an eldritch...
In the emergency department, the only time we use anything electronic like that, we'll do bronchoscopies where you're using camera on a big, long fiber optic device, or we'll use what's called a glide scope, where it's basically a camera on the end of a blade that we stick inside someone's mouth to intubate so we can see it on a camera. Glasses. So really important if you're having trouble with your vision, make sure you get it checked out by an optometrist, and you're having any surgical issues, get it checked out by an ophthalmologist. Oh, there you go. Oh, funny. Trying to use blades. Almost like an Edward Scissorhands. That is a sweet blade. It looks like a 10 blade because it's round and large. Typically in the emergency department, we use something called an 11 blade, sometimes a 15.
Gentle mouths, dude.
Whoa!
Cute. False. Gross. True. Let's just delete your OSs then.
Oh my gosh, it's like, oh my gosh. I think they're gonna do a lobotomy.
A lobotomy is a French man's bottom.
Old school wise, they would do it through the eye socket and just be brutal about it. If you guys want more information about like lobotomies, definitely check out this video, or we'll leave it in the description below. Yeah, those are not performed anymore. So this is pretty crazy. Obviously, I am correlating the human aspect of these robots, so there's not a direct correlation, but there are things that I do see in the emergency department that are very similar to these type of events. So if you guys definitely enjoyed this, I want you to binge watch this whole series right here. And as always, do me a favor, smack that subscribe button, hit the like button, and turn on your bell notifications. Thank you so much for watching, and stay healthy, my friends.